Ladies and gentlemen, this is the press conference with Sharon Stone. She is the recipient of the Golden Icon Award at the Zurich Film Festival. It's the highest award you can get at the Zurich Film Festival. Applause for Sharon Stone.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Is this good? Do we need to maybe get that out of my face?
Sharon Stone, the Zurich Film Festival is very, very happy to have you here and to hand over this prize and this award, the Golden Icon Award. The director, Christian Jungen, actually said, "You're the true icon of cinema." He addressed it this way. I don't think it needs a big introduction. For Sharon Stone, you made some remarkable films, some iconic films like Basic Instincts and Casino, which will be shown tonight at 8 o'clock in your presence, and also where you get the award. But Sharon Stone is more than an actress. She's also a human rights activist, very active in AIDS prevention and AIDS research, for example. And she's also a mother of 3 boys. And she just released her new book, which is called The Beauty of Living Twice, which I can highly recommend for all of you to read. It gives you a lot of answers and maybe to your questions. And I wish I would have read it 25 years ago when I had the chance to interview you for the first time in my life. And I would have asked you probably some other questions. Now, let's start this press conference.
Okay.
I would, of course, I ask my first question to you and then it's up to you. I would like to know, when you got the call for the Zurich Film Festival to get a Golden Icon Award, what was your thought?
Well, it's such a tremendous honor. And I'm really humbled to be honored alongside so many great people. It gives one pause to reflect and consider a lifetime of work, both as an actor and in the field, working as an AIDS frontline worker, both with children, infants, and adults. It really is a lifetime when I stop and think about it. And one thing really does feed the other, and more now that I say that I'm playing the back 9 of my life. It's, they do really inform each other.
Maybe there's a first question. We have microphones, so.
My name is Miriam Lenz. I'm from Keystone STL, Switzerland, and I want to refer to your book. I would like to know, what did it take you to start a second life?
Well, I start the book when I had a massive brain hemorrhage and a stroke. I bled into my brain for 9 days and had a massive stroke, and my vertebral artery was completely ruptured. I had a very low chance of survival. And I had a 1-year-old baby. And not such a terrific marriage. It was a reckoning, I can say, completely. When I was asked if I would like to write a memoir, I had been writing a lot of short stories and had short stories published. And I had not really wanted to write a memoir, frankly. So I had to think about, if I did, from what perspective, because there's a lot of things I could write about, of course. Many things in the field, many things from work. But I felt that it might do me some good to consider why I had a stroke and a brain hemorrhage, and what was the point of this journey. My father had esophageal cancer, and he was given a 3% chance of living 3 months. And after this happened to me, and he and my mother came to live with me, and I told him that if he could survive it, he would learn a lesson of why this happened. And he did survive it. He did. Those 3% were in his favor. But he had 17 surgeries, and it was very difficult. And when he survived it, he told me that his lesson was that he discovered the wonder in each and every day. I really felt that I too had a lesson. And I think that for women, we are all really facing the opportunity to say what's real for us. And this gave me an opportunity to do that. And I hope that my lesson was that it was okay not only to say what was real for me, but to end being manipulated by it.
Thank you. Another question? Yes, back there. You choose.
Hello, Carsten Meyer, RTL German Television. When you look to your great career, would you give an advice to the 20-year-old Sharon Stone? Is there something you would say, or is there nothing? Is there something?
You know, why change the journey? You know, we all have our own lessons. We all have our own destiny. We all have our own journey to live. I mean, of course there are highlights in my career, great ones, and ones that become the glory that we can remember. But to pretend that every career isn't without giant disasters and horrific moments would be completely false. And it is a lot of these giant disasters that lead us to make the most wonderful things that we make. I think about some of the films, like Jim Cameron, who makes some of the great epic kind of films, can make a film that just seems like, what are you doing? And then come out with the next film, and you see that every single technical thing he was trying to learn and achieve in the film before has become a momentous success with his films, his next film. I think we cannot succeed without failing. We cannot grow into our greatness without trying new things. And of course, we're going to fail when we try them. But each new thing that we try and fail, we learn these kind of amazing and often very subtle things, but those subtle things become the essence of our success. So I think in many ways, some of our greatest failures become the seedlings and the foundations of our great success. Perhaps that.
Hi, I'm Jesse from Israel. I write for Israel Hayom, a daily newspaper.
Shalom.
Shalom. I read in a recent interview that you don't have a manager or an agent anymore, so I was wondering how projects come about these days, and if there's a director, an actor, or an actress that you wouldn't be able to say no to working with.
Well, I did not have agents or managers for a very long time. I still don't have an agent. I did hire a manager, And it's great because I hired management who defected from my agency before that fired me. I was pretty much fired by everyone about a month before my book came out. I don't think anyone wanted to hear my life story and perhaps what I might have to say about them. And for a long time, for months and months, I was contacted just directly or through Instagram. And I found that I had a lot more offers than I did when I had an agent. Because I think that agencies take all of your offers and then discuss them at their board meetings and decide if your offer might be better for another client. So I don't think you get all of your offers when you're with an agency. I don't think that the agencies are completely honest, unfortunately. I can only imagine this because I was getting 0 offers. And then when I didn't have an agent, the next week I was getting about 6 to 10 or 12 offers a week. And I don't think it would happen instantly if that wasn't the case. So, you know, I'm just sort of now trying to take my time, and who could I not say no to? I like to work with Taika Waititi. I think he's just great. I like his way of thinking and being. So I would not say no to working with him. I would like to work with a lot of actors, but primarily I'd like to work with some actresses. Much of my career has been me and 250 men on a set. And while I've learned to speak man rather fluently, I would really enjoy working with some actresses, and lots of them. So I'd like to see that happen. I'd like to talk to that lady right there.
Which one?
This lady in the black and right here. Yes, you.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm flattered. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Alessandra De Tommasi from Lego Italy, and I would like to follow up what have been asked to you before. Where does your strength come from, since you, as a public person, can raise awareness on a lot of topics, and you can create a conversation on social issues? So, if you can make an example. Thank you.
I'm an incredibly shy person. So I say the same prayer every time. I ask to be used to do the greatest good for the greatest number of people, and to be directed for today's purpose. And then I allow myself to be completely present. And that's it. Yes, ma'am.
You want to choose?
Yes.
Her? Okay. Hold on a second for the microphone. And please say your name and where.
Yes, Cristiana Lievi from Italy, Vanity Fair. I would like to know if you had someone helping you in finding yourself again, or if what you are saying is completely coming from yourself, let's say.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Italian Vanity Fair for covering me so often and so nicely. And I would like to say that it was very difficult what happened to me because, as I say, essentially my marriage was over when this happened to me. So my parents came and stayed with me at the beginning. And my dad helped me a lot, my father. And then they went home, and there wasn't at that time, this was in 2001, it happened to me just days after the 9/11 event, like about 10 days later. So there wasn't a lot of understanding of aftercare for stroke patients at that time. And I wasn't doing well. I had a lot of problems, a lot of visual distortion, a lot of trouble walking. I had lost a lot of hearing in my right ear. I had no feeling in my left leg. And I was stuttering. And I didn't have full control of my right arm. And it just wasn't going well. And my friend Quincy Jones invited me to come over for dinner over the Christmas holiday because he had had several strokes. And he had been treated by the Karolowski Institute. And he said that he had a terrific doctor that he thought I should see, that he could tell I was just not doing well. And he got me to a really great doctor in Los Angeles, a doctor named Hart Cohen, C-O-H-E-N, Dr. Hart Cohen. And you may recognize him. There was a documentary about the country singer Glenn Campbell, and he was the same doctor in that documentary. And he very quickly diagnosed me with what's called a brain seizure condition. And he was able to treat me for the after effects of this condition that I have, and help me to find a way to recovery, and help me to find some medication, and help me to find ways to treat what was happening to me. That was astounding, because I just didn't feel that I would ever be able to work again or function again in the condition I was in. And he helped me a lot. And then at a certain point, I was on maybe 15, 16 medications. And I told my doctor that I just didn't want to do it. And he connected me with a psychopharmacologist who helped me withdraw from all of the medications, which was complicated. It's complicated to get off of what I did, which was I got off of 15 of the 16 medications, one at a time, which is like being a drug addict and getting off of 15 medications. It was a complicated journey, and my mother helped me do that. My mother stayed with me while I did that because, you know, sometimes you have seizures, sometimes you are sick, and she helped me get off of all of the various medications that I had been put on in order to survive what happened to me.
And you had a 1-year-old son at home.
And I had a little baby, and very quickly after my divorce, I adopted another son. And then another son almost immediately after that, because I got a call that they were brothers. And so I suddenly had 3 children while I was recovering from this.
Which are teenagers now.
Yes, they're 15, 16, and 21.
One is in drinking age now, right? The
One is
oldest
21,
Yeah,
but he doesn't drink.
He doesn't drink.
No.
Okay, next question. Do you want to choose, or is it okay?
Hi, I'm Patrick from Berlin. Good to see you.
Hi, Patrick.
You were mentioning earlier how from failure success can grow, and I was wondering, looking back, what do you consider your biggest successes in life as an actor, but also as a human being?
Well, just so many things. I think as an actor, it's maybe playing diverse types of roles. I had such a good time doing comedy with Albert Brooks. And I'm finding the older I get, the funnier everything seems. So maybe just the diversity of things is really great. The opportunity to work with all kinds of people is what I enjoy the most. And I also find the great achievement of someone, for me, that I'm so shy and that I've been able to learn to speak in public. That's a big thing. Because when I was young, just standing up in church and having to talk, the tears would fall. So learning how to do these things has been really great. And that has been really wonderful because it's helped me tremendously with raising money for AIDS awareness and being able to speak to scientists and doctors. And that has been that I think has been for me my greatest achievement, to be able to work around the world. And just that work is so fascinating, to be able to go to the Karolowski Institute and do a 3-day study session with the top, microbiologists in the world who are putting their attention to infectious disease. I mean, that's just fantastic. That's the most fascinating, extraordinary, amazing thing. Or to be able to take an initiative to the United Nations and be taken seriously. That's just thrilling. It really is. It's just absolutely thrilling. And of course, any person who has children knows that being a parent, there's nothing like it. It's just a fantastic thing. No one can tell you what it's going to be like, and then you do it, and, it's everything, Ma'am?
Thank you. Julie Evard of Swiss TV, French part. You are a feminist. You've always been a feminist, but you waited 1 year after Me Too to speak about the sexual assault you had supported. Why?
Well, I never waited. I spoke about situations at work and beyond. It's just that it took a very long time for anyone to listen to me. It's a very delicate situation to be one person and lots and lots and lots of men. It's a way thank God I had brothers and an extraordinarily strong father. I have to say I never thought of myself as a feminist because my father was such a hardcore feminist. My father was an intense feminist. And so he would call me in from the playground and say, you're not trying your best because you want the boys to like you. Now go back out there and win. And I would go out and I would do my best and win, and then none of the boys liked me, which has been a lot of my problem in life, because you have to learn a balance. You have to learn how to win and win. And as a woman, there's a complex balance in that. So yes, you can talk about sexual abuse, but you have to also function and work and live within a system that's run, owned, and operated by men. So, I got fired before my book even came out, and no one had read it. These are the realities of life.
And according to your book, your mother was also this strong person who told you, you stand on your goddamn feet. I think that's the quote in your book.
Well, I said to her, why did you, I was sitting with my girlfriends. I said, why did you never let me lean on you? And she said, because you needed to learn to stand on your own 2 goddamn feet. I was like, wow. But in reality, that was the best love she had to give me, because she had no one to take care of her. And that's a little bit the way it is,
All in the book.
Yes.
Hi, Sharon. Artur Zaborski from Poland. A few days ago in Poland, the news came out that you supported the Polish LGBTQ communities through the project Love is Not an Ideology, which I am super grateful for. But I would like to ask you, was Poland on your radar? How did you get involved with it, and why is it so important for you?
Well, for me, it's not that I got involved in something particularly. I just don't think that anyone should be treated differently than anyone else. I think that any sort of this is just complete and total bullshit. And first of all, why does a gay person have to walk into the room and say who they sleep with and how they fuck? No one says to me, oh, and how do you fuck? And who do you fuck? And are you on the top or are you on the bottom? And what are you like? And how do you like to have sex? I don't have to walk in a room and explain how I have sex. And I think to ask someone to inform everyone who they have sex with and how they have sex is so violently inappropriate in every circumstance that it's appalling. It's nobody's business. It's offensive. And it's offensive to judge people by their sexuality or their religion or their skin color or their race. It's offensive. It's just offensive. It's just another way not to be loving. It's another way not to be present. It's another way to have an excuse not to show up. It has nothing to do with ethnicity or gender or sexuality. It has everything to do with the person's inability to show up and be present. Welcome.
I think we have time for one more question.
Okay.
Hi, Sharon. James Mott from Total Film of the UK. As was mentioned in the intro, Casino is playing this evening. I just wondered if you could reflect on that film, what kind of an impact it made on your career, and did you stay in touch with Scorsese? Were there ever any other projects that almost happened but didn't?
Well, yes, and I did another project with Scorsese not that long ago, the Rolling Thunder Bob Dylan project. Yes, we stay in touch all the time. I absolutely adore Marty and Bob and Joe Pesci and even Jimmy Woods, who is a little bit of a kook politically, but he's one of the smartest people I ever met. And many people don't know that James Woods pointed out the 9/11 terrorists. He was on an airplane a day or two before 9/11 and told the stewardesses, the flight attendants, that there were terrorists on the plane. And he pointed out two people that he felt were terrorists. And they took notes, extensive notes on the people on the plane. And then right after 9/11, the FBI contacted him and said, good morning, is this James Woods of such and such an address? Are you here and there at like 5 o'clock in the morning? And he said, yes. And said, we'd like to talk to you. And he said, no problem. When? And they said, open the door or we're going to knock it down. And they came in, they questioned him extensively, and this was the beginning of their ability to find out who the actual terrorists were, because he saw them on a plane coming in. He's a brilliant man, though I hate his politics. I do love him. And Joe Pesci and I are long, good friends, golfing buddies. De Niro is amazing. I was just a judge at the Tribeca Film Festival this summer. And Marty and I are very dear friends. He's an amazing person. And I haven't seen Casino since we made it. And it did have such a big impact on my life because my dream as an actor was to work with De Niro. When I very first went to my acting teacher, Roy London, and he said to me, what's your goal? What is your goal as an actress? And I said, my goal is to want to be able to sit down with Robert De Niro and hold my own. And I remember the night we shot the scene where I come back from running away with Jimmy Woods. And I have this sort of red burgundy dress. And we're sitting in this U-shaped table in the restaurant. And he improvised at one point in the scene, and he said, yeah, you're a really good actress. And I remember I was smoking a cigarette, and I looked at him, and I thought, yes, I really am, fucker. Because I thought, I did it. I'm sitting opposite Robert De Niro, and I'm holding my own. And it was a great moment, but it was also sort of a weird moment, because who gets to reach their goal? Who gets to, you know, it's like that thing, like, you know, what are the heavens for? Because once you reach your goal, it's a little bit like, oh my God, now what? You know, where do you go after you work with Scorsese and De Niro and Pesci and Woods? Like, what do you do now? So that's why I wanted to see the movie with everyone together, just to see, like, what's it like now, so many years later.
It's at 8 o'clock tonight.
Exciting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you doing this. The chair's on my dress. My heels are in my dress. Okay. Yeah, we laughed when I was coming down because most people come to press conferences in their T-shirts. But I decided I get to come to a press conference any way I want, so I'm wearing couture.